Hello, I'm Erin J. Doyle. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be my goals for 2025, which sounds like a stupid number. 2025 is so high, how could it possibly be that year? But anyway, this is my goals video. I have experimented with setting goals in videos before and doing regular catch-ups and stuff, but we're just going to see how it goes for this year. I feel like for me, goals, particularly ones that are within a time frame, are very fluid. I just kind of have like rolling goals, and it's probably not a good thing. So we're going to try to set some goals. And we're just going to see how it goes and how often I feel a need to update you as to how we're going. It's probably going to be a short list because A, I have not prepared for this video in any context, and B, life has a lot of stuff happening. Life's changed dramatically in the last few months. Maybe this isn't the time to set a large amount of fixed or lofty goals. So we're just going to keep this to reasonable things that I want to achieve this year. So, number one, I want to get the highest grade possible on my 4-month review, which is in the first week of February. By then, I have to have submitted, it's basically like a digital package of paperwork. So various forms that I've got to fill in, things I have to apply for, varying levels of complexity for each of the things. And the grades that you get, they aren't like A, B, C, D. There are other letters that stand for things like reservations. So it's like you've passed, but like it's not perfect. I think the highest grade is an S for satisfactory. That's what I want. I want the highest possible grade for my 4-month review, which I'm told is obviously the easiest one to get that for because you just have to fill in the paperwork properly. And I've also been told it's like the one time that you'll actually get one. Like every other time there'll be something you've got to change. So I want the top grade for my 4-month review. After that, in June, I have my 9-month review. Unlike my 4-month, the 9-month is I actually have to be interrogated. I don't know exactly what's involved. I've recently received some information about it, but it's not in my brain yet. I think 9 months I have to do a presentation and then answer some questions from like a little review panel. I think that's what's involved. So I want to do well on that, but I don't want to set myself the goal of getting like the highest grade because this is my first time doing one, so like there'll be a yearly review each year after that. But this is my first time, so I don't really know what's involved. I haven't met people who will be on my review panel. Like I'll be nervous. Like I don't want to set myself too high of a goal and then be sad that I didn't achieve it. So I just want to like do okay, right? Like I'm okay if they say you've got to make some changes, that's fine. I just don't want them to be like, well, that was a piece of shit. What have you been doing for the last 9 months? Like, you know, I just want it to be like good enough, you know? I realize it's not a very impressive goal, but I think given that that's such a new situation for me, I think that's reasonable. And I do think that setting ridiculously high goals is a way of setting yourself up for disappointment and bitterness, so we're not going to do that. My next goal is to do something about my sleep. To the best of my knowledge or recollection, as an adult, I've never had a set sleep schedule. I get up whenever I need to get to wherever I'm going, and I go to bed when I'm exhausted. And the thing is, exhausted is way after when you should actually go to bed. And I pull this off by ingesting stupid amounts of caffeine and sugary things to keep myself awake. So I'm going to try this year to sleep regularly. I don't feel I can go from complete chaos, no pattern at all, to strict regiment overnight. I think that's just not going to work. So I think what I need to do is set a bedtime that's quite late and then just bring it earlier and earlier in like little increments. What I might do is actually do some research perhaps that I should have done before this video to decide what the best strategy is going to be, but I think that's it, is to just bring bedtime a little bit earlier, a little bit earlier, a little bit earlier until I've got it to the point where I want it. So I think realistically I need to be in bed before 10:30 if I'm getting up between 6:37. So at the moment I have an alarm that goes off at 6:45 and then I get out of bed sometime after 7. Because I have like a wake up alarm and a get out of bed alarm, which is probably necessary because I'm so tired that I will go to sleep if I'm only disturbed once. So there's going to be some fiddling around with that, but I think the health risks of being sleep deprived all the time are very well established at this point. Like, it makes you really high risk for like dementia and that kind of thing. It makes you unsafe to drive. It's the same as being drunk all the time. And I think it's also good for like muscle repair and that kind of thing as well. Like, it's just really super duper good for you. So I want that. I think I'm too old not to have the good health thing ticked. But also, using your brain a lot requires a lot of energy and therefore a lot of rest as well. So trying to do a PhD and hopefully write a book at the same time, like, I need to be well rested, not stealing sleep from myself so I have more time to do more work. I think I'd be better off getting more sleep and doing less work, but hopefully better quality, because I'm not sleep deprived. So yeah, we're gonna do that. My next goal for this year is to get an agent, or if not, get an agent, because that's out of my control. That's the desire. But the bit that's within my control is that I'm going to make a good effort at getting an agent. So I'm going to actually start querying and putting effort into that. And I'm going to try and be a little bit systematic. I have to make a plan as to what that actually means. I don't know how I'm going to be systematic about it, but that's what we're going to do. So it'll be make a plan to be systematic and then implement the plan. And then my other goal is to start writing my Portal fantasy. I've been planning it for a little while. I want to actually pen to paper start writing it this year. I'm not going to put any kind of goals on myself as to like completing a draft or writing a certain number of words, because I can't allow writing to compete with my PhD. This is a massive thing that I'm undertaking, and whilst I should be able to complete it within, 8 hours a week, Monday to Friday, like you're supposed to be able to treat it like a full-time job and then have downtime, I can't set goals which are going to anyway infringe on that. And if the downtime means I have to stop using my brain for a day and just go for walks or knit or something else so I'm not thinking constantly, then that's what I'm going to have to do, even if that means that my word outputs are lower over the next 4 years than they have been in previous years. And we're just going to have to feel my way through that. I don't know how it's going to go, and I don't want to, like I said before, like set ridiculously lofty goals and then be upset when they turn out to be overly ambitious and then I horribly fail. But that's the plan. Anyway, so I realise this is a really small list of goals, but I think it's achievable and sensible and all those things. And also I think these are like big life priorities. These are like, do well in the career things, look after your physical health for goodness sake, you're an adult things, and work towards your dream things. I think, I've got a couple of things on each category. That's enough. Is there another goal? Oh, yeah, there is actually. But it's boring as hell. What I want to do is put enough money aside to pay for a trip back to New Zealand. Not because I intend to go home for a holiday or anything else, but I want to ensure that I have, oh shit, one of my parents who are both in their 70s has had a massive medical incident and might pass away kind of money. I want, if that happens, to just be able to go, money at the problem, and go home. I don't want to be trapped in the UK, panicking about how I'm going to get home for, you know, my parents' funeral. The reality is, I don't expect either of my parents to die while I'm here, but they're both in their 70s, and my father has had a close call. And I think it would be very naive not to prepare for that worst case scenario. And the only thing I can do, like, I can't do anything about their health and well-being, but I can make sure that if I need to go home in a hurry, I have the cash to do so. So my goal for this year is to create a dedicated bank account that money goes into every single month to ensure that I have enough for a emergency ticket back home. Which sucks as a thing to maybe have to use, but it would suck considerably harder to need it and not have it. So that's my other goal. So with that, what a delightful note to finish on. Let's wrap it up there. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.